Hey everyone, it is time for 120 Minutes. This hour we've got new videos from Badly Drawn Boy, Sonic Youth, and Wilco, and we will see one from a couple years ago from my guest tonight, the Apples in Stereo. Robert?
What is up,
John?
Jim?
Welcome to the program.
Thanks for having us on here, dude.
And for those that don't know, Velocity of Sound, your latest album, came out in October.
Yeah.
And it sounds different than your previous efforts. Not like a quantum leap of difference, but more punk rock, fuzzier, faster. Yeah. Was that intentional?
Yeah, it was definitely intentional. Like, on our past records, we'd always, there's always been like two sides to our bands. Like when we play live and also just when we practice and stuff. Like ever since we started our band, we've always been a real kind of loud, sort of sloppy, kind of fuzzy garage band. And like, on the records, we always took the approach in the studio that we have all this studio stuff that we can use, you know, all these wires and, you know, like knobs that we can use to our advantage. So we always tried to make a more kind of psychedelic sort of, you know, strange kind of dreamlike production out of the records. And then when we play live, we just figured that, you know, where the horns come in on the record, we'll just kick on the, you know, fuzz pedals or whatever.
Right.
And so for the new record, we just kind of, you know, there's a couple of things. Number one, I'm just really sick of oldies, and that had been like where we took a big chunk of our inspiration in the past. For another thing, I wanted to get across the real apples. Like it started to seem kind of sad to me that like our records are great, our other records, and they're very psychedelic, but they don't actually sound like our band. Like there's no song on there that I'd be like, that's like when I'm an old man, you know, I'll be sitting around listening to Apples records, you know, and like on my, you know, on my like a phonograph, you know.
We never sounded like that.
My gramophone, you know, with like the horn and stuff, and I'll be listening to, and I'll be like, well, and none of these songs sound like us.
And this, and so, you said this, the new one sounds like you guys in a garage.
It's like, it's like us in a garage.
Like our live show.
Yeah, it's like our live show. Yeah, exactly.
And we will
it's like our live show through a kaleidoscope.
We'll have more with the Apples in Stereo throughout the night. We have 120 minutes to spend with you guys.
Whoa,
But right now we have the second video from Coldplay's A Rush of Blood to the Head album. Here is Clocks. Welcome back to 120 Minutes. A video from Interpol is coming up, but first we have one from my guest tonight, the Apples in Stereo. And we're about to get into, Signal in the Sky.
Yep, Signal in the Sky.
I forgot there for a second.
You ready, dude?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's start lip syncing.
All right.
Where's the music?
Come on.
And this is off
supposed to be the video.
Powerpuff Girls Heroes and Villains soundtrack, which was released in 2000.
Yeah.
And that was off the Cartoon Network, I guess, played the video like a ton of times.
Yeah,
so how
they
did
still
you guys...
play it all the time. They, like Craig McCracken, he's the creator of the Powerpuff Girls. He liked our band. They were putting together this album of like stuff from bands that he liked that were inspired by songs that were written about the Powerpuff Girls, basically. He called me up at the studio and just asked me to write a song for it, see if the Apples would do one. I was really psyched. I love the cartoon. It's like one of the best cartoons going. And like, so I mean, like as soon as I hung up the phone, I wrote the song in like 5 minutes. And like I was really excited and like it was pretty cool. And we got to do this video. It was awesome. Like we got to like, you know, like run around.
Really,
it was really cool. Like we
in front of a green screen kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just kind of placing us in there.
Yeah, and like we had to like act like there's a monster chasing us and shit.
The seven-eyed monster.
I'm sorry about the word. I used one of the words, the S word.
You know, monster?
Yeah, monster. The kids in the audience aren't allowed to hear that word.
But and then when the video showed on Cartoon Network, did you hear any stories of like little girls like tugging on their dad and moms? They're like, "Mom, buy me a Apples in Stereo record."
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we actually did have a few shows where we had like 7 or 8 year olds coming to the show with their parents.
Yeah, exactly. It was pretty cool.
So, I mean, it had to be from that.
Yeah, exactly.
And were they screaming, "Play Signal in the Sky"?
Yeah, they were actually.
They were actually probably in bed by the time we went on.
Yeah, exactly. That's really cool, though.
And we have it right now, the tale of the seven-eyed monster smashing Townsville to little pieces, Signal in the Sky.
Yeah.
Still ahead this hour, videos from Sonic Youth, Josh Rouse, Wilco, and the Apples in Stereo hanging out with me. And you said the S word in the last segment. I didn't even realize that.
I'm really sorry about that.
Because you said monster. I thought it was like monster because I was thinking something else.
Yeah, no, I was just...
Okay. But for those that don't know, once again...
Sorry about the S word, you guys. I'm really sorry about that. I usually don't have such a foul mouth.
The Apples in Stereo, their latest album, Velocity of Sound, is in stores now. And it was recorded in Denver, and I guess this is the last time that it's going to be recorded in the Pet Sound Studio?
Yeah, actually, well, Pet Sound Studio kind of moves with me, but yeah,
Okay.
like, that was at our last Pet Sound Studio. That was the last record to be recorded there.
And you relocated to Lexington, Kentucky.
Yeah, like half of our band relocated. Half of us are still in Denver, but the studio moved with me and Hillary.
Okay, so you're going to record in Lexington.
Hillary's our rockin' drummer.
Okay, who's also your
For
wife.
the listening audience who might offend
Who's
with
also
my
your
foul
wife.
mouth.
I was trying
that's
to
true.
figure out your left hand, and there's the ring to prove it.
There it is.
And is that true for
We're like
this
the
album?
Wonder Twins. We like, put our
Nope.
rings together and do like super tricks.
But for this album, did you? Is that true that you guys bought like an old tape machine to make it sound
Well, no,
like it was
actually,
recorded back in the day?
in general, we buy old equipment because it's cheap.
Okay.
And like we did for our last album, we got an old 1970s 16-track, 2-inch tape. It's really cool,
Okay.
man. It's great. We recorded our last album on that. On the new album, we actually recorded it with our 8-track half-inch machine, which is what we recorded our first album on. I wanted, I'm a producer, and like as a record producer, I tend to obsess over like fidelity and little production details.
Right.
On this record, I really just wanted to have fun with it and be live about it and be spontaneous. I didn't want to obsess over stuff.
Right.
So like we recorded it we recorded on the 8-track half-inch, which pretty much limited the fidelity to being fuzzy rock and roll.
Right.
And then after we were trying to record all the tracks, we did all of them in like 1 or 2 takes. It was pretty quick, kind of fun thing doing the recording. And then I transferred them over to the 16-track to do overdubs later.
And I have a question later in the show about the recording process.
I'll answer
but we'll
it now.
save that. We'll save it because we have to watch the video right now.
The answer is
now.
tambourine.
Okay. Right now, here is ours. Do you guys ever watch Silence of the Lambs?
Precious,
Yeah.
there's precious.
Off the album Precious. Here's Leaves.